Hey guys, this is Jenny, and I'm going to try to do a revisit to my on-the-clock layout idea I had before, where I tried to time myself and do something quick. This is a layout just for me, just because I like these papers and I wanted to, actually it's not just for me. I do have a blog I'm looking at for inspiration, but it's not for anything other than just that. It's for this Scrap Friends blog, which is really cool. They have a color sketch, and then they have a sketch challenge. This, or color palette. This is the color palette one, which I've had sitting on my desk. I just haven't gotten around to it, and so hopefully that's what this will be. It is there's 5 colors. It's sort of an apricot-y, hot pink kind of color, a chartreuse kind of lime green, a brighter sort of chartreuse yellowy color, a light kind of vanilla, and a light gray. So that is the color palette, and I've gotten a bunch of new things that I just want to try because I have them and I can do what I want to with them, and I've got a fun picture. So this is the Polka Dot Party. It's the paper pad, and so I have pulled just a bunch of things from it. I may not use any or all of them, but some of these had some of those sort of limey, chartreusey yellow and green and things like that. So that's one of the pieces. This nice stripe, this beautiful gray polka dot that sort of fades, and the chartreusey yellow around it, which I very nicely spilled something on it the first night I tried to do something with it, and I got frustrated and left. That's why this is sat on my desk for a while. This is gorgeous. I really, I'm thinking this might be the background, but I hate to cover any of it up because it's just so pretty. It's just a hot pink border with this sort of splash of that chartreusey green on it. And I liked some of, maybe this is a journaling piece. I sort of held things in place with thickers that I might use. Another one of thickers I might use. This pretty hot pink of that stamp, sort of some more thickers, and then this really pretty same kind of, you know, faux misted white and sort of chartreuse on that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking as far as papers, and it's obviously going to be pretty bright. And I have this Mayberry collection from American Crafts, a 6x6 pad, this sort of confetti kind of green paper. And these are pictures I thought may back up the picture. These just sort of match their clothespins. I love the hot pink and that sort of chartreusey green, even though it says happy birthday, but I could probably turn it over. Another green there. And I bought this sort of washi adhesive sheets, which I had not seen the full sheets like this other than strips. It's a We Are Memory Keepers, and I got it from Hobby Lobby, but it's got some, it's that sort of chalkboardy line, but it's got some beautiful pieces that I actually punched a few out of, which was neat to be able to punch it out and basically use it as a sticker. And I thought it might be neat to, you know, maybe use a strip of that. We'll see. And I got this stamp set from Hero Arts that is sort of the faux, you know, paint splotches and paint strips and, or, you know, sort of paint brush stripes, and so I thought that might be fun to use. And I've got a few little die cuts and bits and pieces of things, and a couple of these fabric frames from Crepe Paper, the Maggie Holmes collection. This is the new one, I think the Flea Market collection. And this is one of the old ones from the, I can't remember the name of it, but so those kind of match. And this is the photograph I was going to use, which is of my daughter eating this ginormous piece of cheese pizza. And so I thought it would be kind of a good photograph to focus on just that one photo. And I thought it would be neat, since we seem to be in this age of Instagramming everything and texting everything and tweeting everything, that it would be sort of a like a hashtag kind of title. So I cut this piece out on the silhouette that would sort of be like a hashtag cheesy, which I thought might be kind of funny. And then I cut a few other little sort of hello, die cuts and some other things, some geotags and other kind of bits and pieces I might use. And I may sort of miss those or paint them or something else. I'm not quite sure about that. So that's what I'm thinking right now, and I'm going to try to get set up and try to get an idea of what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to set my clock, because usually when I do this I have a little bit of an idea, and I don't have much of an idea now, which might be good. It might be just, good to go for it, but we will start there. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, I am ready to go. I do not have my phone in front of me. Let's see if we can do it on this. Okay, stopwatch. We'll just start it as a timer and see what happens. Okay, ready, go. I'm shooting for, gonna be realistic and say 35 minutes. And we'll see what happens. So, here we go. Okay, I'm going to talk through a little bit of this. I would like to mention that I never went back and revisited the stopwatch on my iPad or really noticed the time again. This was late at night, and after the 35 minutes was up, I decided to go to bed. I wasn't quite finished yet and really didn't want to deal with it anymore. So when I came back and finished it the next morning or the next day, I didn't even really look at the clock. So it ended up probably, I would say, about 45 or 50 minutes, obviously, as usual, longer than I wanted to, but I kind of just lost track of that whole thought. So I just backed some of those. My picture ended up being an odd size for some reason, and so I just backed the rest of that little fabric frame up with some of the patterned paper. And I did that on the larger one too, and just layered those two. These are these stamps from Hero Arts that are supposed to be sort of just brush strokes and different sort of splats and sort of artistic kind of little, which I didn't kind of go for at first. I thought it was kind of a little bit cheesy and kind of a little bit of a cheat. But I really, I do like them. I think they're great they'd be great if you wanted to take them and travel and not have to worry about having, a lot of messy things. And so I think they do have their place, and I ended up liking them after all. I would much rather use real paint to do a lot of this, but I do think that as far as having something that's neat and quick, and especially in this case with what I was doing, I think it worked out well. I used my gelatos to kind of color on top of the stamp, and then I misted it to make it a little bit waterier, I'm not sure if that's a word, and then stamped it on top of the paper. Most of this gets covered up, but I kind of thought it might be neat to have like sort of little splats of marinara sauce like from the pizza, but obviously marinara is not hot pink and fuchsia and peach, so I just went with those colors anyway. Actually that hot pink really, it kind of bothered me. It was a little bit too bright, fluorescent-ish. So you see the time there was 17 minutes, so Um, anyway, so most of that actually did get covered up, but I do like that last little bit. I think I've never done that technique where you missed it afterwards. I've used them before with just more directly and not diluted, so I think it worked well, and I think it would be great. I just need more practice, or maybe it's one of those things where you stamp it, 5 times and the 6th time is perfect. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to do some more layers behind this, or what it is I wanted to use. I ended up cutting out this little piece of that paper it's like a check for a restaurant or something. So I cut that up and I thought that was appropriate, and I actually split it in two, so it kind of looks like it's the length of the running behind the entire little cluster I've got going on there. Actually, the little happy birthday on that clothespin is written on both sides, so that didn't work out, but I used the hot pink one instead. Now I'm going to watercolor this little cheesy that I'd cut out on my silhouette, and this I just cut it out of American Crafts, just white cardstock, which if you don't really use too much water, it actually takes it really well. So I'm going to mix it up and just paint it sort of yellow and a little bit of the green, and then I go ahead and just put some more paint on some of those other little die cuts that I use a little bit of. I love thickers, but I really do love being able to kind of customize these things, and I'd kind of originally planned to have it sort of say "Hello Cheesy" as the title, but I didn't really like the way the hello comes out, and I kind of just fussed around with that for a while, and you'll see that. And I apologize, for some reason the grid on I don't know whether my camera was not quite straight or not, but the grid looks really crooked and off kilter. But I had just gotten a new cutting mat and was ready to use it. I'm bad about using my adhesive right on top of it, and I'm trying to get better about that. So the other one was so covered up with sticky stuff and things that had stuck to it and all of that fun stuff that happens when you're scrapping. So I'm going to adhere all these little clusters together and kind of get them situated. So I'm going to stop talking and let you listen to some music, and I will come back in a bit towards the end. Alrighty, I am here towards the end and I've pretty much got everything the way it is. You'll see I decided to cut the piece of white cardstock down and mount it on another piece of paper. I believe it's from that crepe paper line from Maggie Helms that's a nice little sort of gray stripe border that's uneven, and then it's got a little sort of chartreuse border inside that. And I'm just trying to figure out any other little colors. You can see the point that I stopped and decided to call a night was when I started pulling out navy. That had nothing to do with the color scheme, but I decided that navy would be nice for it, which I thought looked good, but it didn't have anything to do with the color palette. So anyway, I put the little S there for my daughter's initial, and I've kind of glued everything down, and then I just do a little bit of journaling about where we were and the date on a little it's another die cut from crepe paper that's the one of those slide frames. It's not the chipboard one, it's just the die cut that I slipped over that frame. And that's I keep trying to go back to that navy star. That's pretty much it. You can see the close-ups here and the finished product at the end. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love comments and feedback about the time or talking or no talking or music, anything like that, and I will see you later. Thanks. Bye.